Welcome back to Watch War Football. You're watching us on the Genreverse Sports YouTube channel. As usual, give us a like and a subscribe if you can, because we're just starting out. Especially if you also like our other channel, the Genreverse YouTube channel itself, which will cover all your entertainment needs. It's got reviews, it's got reactions, loads of different podcasts on there. My name's Cam Clark. I work for LRMonline.com. I'm one of the senior editors over there, and all your entertainment news in written format you can find on there as well. As I said, my name's Cam, Dave, Mick, and Ryan. We're all back again to talk about football. In this particular week, we're not too keen to talk about the football because things have not gone well for any of our valiant heroes this week. However, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. First of all, we're going to do things a little bit differently in terms of instead of talking through all the kind of scores one by one. There were so many. We're just kind of going to list them off and talk about the big talking points this week. If you've watched this before, we're going to do things a little bit differently. So, guys, I'm just going to go through the scores here, and then we'll talk about the big talking points. Okay, so from Tuesday we had Luton 3, Arsenal 4, Wolves 1, Burnley 0. Moving on to the Wednesday, Man United beat Chelsea 2-1. We'll be talking about that one a little bit. Villa beat Man City 1-0. We'll be talking about that. Sheffield United lost 2-0 to Liverpool. Fulham won 5-0 against Nottingham Forest. They would do that again. Crystal Palace 0, Bournemouth 2, Brighton 2, Brentford 1. On the Thursday, nothing happened on the Thursday. No, Spurs got beat 2-1 off West Ham, and Newcastle get smashed 3-0 off Everton. That was great fun. Moving on to the Saturday fixtures, we had Arsenal got beat 1-0 off Aston Villa. Wolves drew 1-1 with Forest. Sheffield United beat Brentford 1-0. Man United got beat 3-0 off Bournemouth. Brighton 1, Burnley 1. Crystal Palace lost 2-1 to Liverpool. Then on the Sunday, Spurs kind of beat Newcastle 4-1. Don't know what happened. Luton 1, Manchester City 2. Fulham 5 again, West Ham 0, and then Everton beat Chelsea 2-0. So, guys, I think the first kind of thing that we should probably talk about a little bit is Aston Villa. I think they are possibly the biggest talking point of this weekend. They've got a great home record, and that home record has now got City and Arsenal as scalps, beat both of them 1-0. The two big title challengers are now sitting above City in the table and right in the title hunt. So, thoughts?
There were fairly convincing wins as well, I'd say. It's not like we're just plucky and got a goal out of nowhere.
I mean,
they deserved it.
They absolutely dominated City in a way that no team really has done.
City had 2 shots on target, didn't they? Yeah. Which were in like a space of 5 seconds in the first 10 minutes or so. And they never had anything.
I don't know if they necessarily dominated Arsenal the same. Arsenal actually played okay.
They didn't give them much, though.
They never gave them many chances. But I think the City game was so surprising in terms of how much better than City they were consistently for 90 minutes.
We said last week it was going to be a decent test for City because they've struggled against teams that take the game to them, and that's exactly what Villa did, and they just couldn't cope with it.
It's probably worth noting that City were without Rodri for the Villa game, which is always for City a big thing. He's probably their most important player, I'd say.
Yeah, he does. They do seem to just lose games, not necessarily lose games, but they don't win as many games when
they can't control the games as well as they can.
They didn't really have a midfield against Villa, did they? They had they had Stones and Rico Lewis, who were 2 defenders. and Julian Alvarez is sort of dropping into the midfield a bit as well, and he's a striker,
Yeah, he's been playing him in that De Bruyne role though, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So I guess
you never really see City get battered like that, do you?
No.
I can't remember the last time I've seen that happen to Man City.
Chelsea's got far against them.
From like a chances either way sort of perspective, it's statistically Pep's worst ever game across his career.
Yeah. Well, I think he's had like 5-1 results and stuff like that in the past. But
I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, maybe statistically though, as Ryan's saying, in terms of what they created 2 chances in the entire game, it just wasn't like them. You're not used to seeing it. I guess the question is this just Aston Villa are that good that they're now in the title hunt, or are City taking a bit of a stumble at the moment and just not quite in the form that
I think it's a bit of both.
In the past,
I'd say it's a bit of both. Yeah.
I wouldn't say Villa are in a title hunt. I mean, they look like they're doing what Newcastle were doing last season. I mean, that's 15 games in a row they've won now at home, which is unbelievable, isn't it? That's nearly a full season of home games.
Yeah, and their away form's not as good, and they've got a few big away games coming up over the next month.
Yeah,
that's what I was going to say. Like these last 2 games, both at home, and they've done great, but. Remember, they did drew with Bournemouth away the week before when we were talking about them, which isn't that great a result. Not a title-winning result, certainly.
Bournemouth are a good team. Yeah, they can beat anyone.
Aye, Bournemouth are on form at the minute.
They are on form very much.
They've beaten all the big teams. And Man U.
But what I'm kind of trying to get at is that if you're a genuine title challenger, like you'd maybe think the Liverpools, the Cities, and the Arsenals would still beat them away, and that's all I'm saying. I don't know if Villa can do that away from home. That's where we tend to struggle as well as we'll get to.
We'll know more about Villa when it comes to the knockout stages of the Conference League.
Yeah.
Because they'll probably want to start taking that more seriously because they'll want to win it.
They want a trophy, and it's
that much.
But they've never really had any injuries either.
No, and
a couple of big ones,
maybe not been as pushed in those games. They maybe weren't having to go in at it 100% to win some of those games with the good team that they were putting out.
Take nothing away from them; they're doing brilliantly.
Yeah, they play really good football.
Yeah.
And
does anyone think they can actually win the title, or do we all just think?
I mean,
you're looking at Champions League this year.
I think they'll get Champions League.
To be honest,
I think Europa.
You don't think they'll get Champions League, Mick?
Yeah, I think
and you don't either, Dave. You don't think?
I think they'll get it.
I think they'll drop off.
You do think so, Mick? You think they'll drop off, Dave?
I'd like to see them get it.
Place, though.
Yeah, I mean,
who would take their place?
Spurs probably.
Spurs, yeah.
I think Spurs will drop off more.
Remember, there's
January,
5 Champions League places, guys. 5. Liverpool, Man City.
That's only if, we or Man U can get through in the Champions League. Because if both
English
of us
teams
drop out
have got
of
to
the
do well in
Champions
Europe.
League,
is that right?
If we drop out of the Champions League, then we'll not get them 5 places. Because you've got, I think Germany have got 4 teams through. Spain have got 4 teams through already in the Champions League.
Yeah. We're quite low down on that table at the minute.
Yeah,
to be honest, and it is going off this season's results.
I thought, is it just this season's results? Because I thought the EPL was ahead already, and that's why I was saying it was most likely.
I think it was just assumed we've got 8 teams in Europe this season that we're going to have a decent shot, but obviously United and Newcastle have really struggled.
I mean, the Conference League teams and the Europa League teams all look as if they're going through.
Yeah, they're doing fine. So, and Arsenal and City
they're already through.
But I suppose it's weighted towards the Champions League, and if you've got half your Champions League teams not doing well, then it's probably a big hit, isn't it?
So maybe Newcastle could still go through, or Man United, but we'll just have to wait and see. All right, that's interesting. So, it could be a kind of wait and see scenario in terms of whether it's 5 places or 2 places. I wasn't aware of that, to be fair. I thought it was pretty much
I thought it was
I think
on previous seasons.
One of us could get through, Newcastle or Man U.
I think Villa have got a great chance of winning the Conference League. I think Liverpool or West Ham or even United or Newcastle could look at winning the Europa League. City will go pretty deep into the Champions League as long as the World Club Challenge doesn't take too much out of them.
You don't think News could get into the Europa League? Does that look unlikely, Ryan, that News would go into the Europa League?
I said United or Newcastle.
You as well.
But
sorry.
Yeah, I mean, we need a result against Bayern, and that's really it's a big ask.
The thing is, you just need a win.
Yeah,
not a draw.
We can still go through with a draw to the Europa League.
Anyway,
at least.
To the Europa League, yeah.
I guess we've talked about Villa, the other side of the coin is that City don't look quite the team that they were certainly last year when they were just so dominant. They won everything and they won the treble. I did say at the start of the season, I didn't think that they would win the league this year because I thought they had let go good players and not replaced them with as good players.
Yeah.
But then
I wouldn't say they haven't looked as good. I wouldn't have said that. I would have said like maybe the last couple of games they've looked a bit off, but
they dropped points 4 games in a row and then really struggled against Luton as well. I think
until the red card, it didn't look like
Cup for Newcastle as well. I don't think you can discount that. That's not a competition they wanted to get put out. They played quite a strong team in that, and they still lost that game.
I think it's less that they're playing badly. It's more that they have got some vulnerabilities this season. I think as well. There's as silly as it is to say about City, they're struggling for depth as well. Because, like I said, they didn't have a midfield against Villa. And that's.
You say that
they're playing Calvin Phillips or Mateus Nunes or anything, but they are struggling there.
They don't play that much, do they?
Yeah. So I think there's vulnerabilities, and there is
them as well.
Yeah, there is a blueprint now where if you take the game to them and you do it well, you can get some joy out of it.
Yeah. Well, that's it. But that's the mystique broken. Then once you get to that point and the mystique's broken, you're vulnerable. You need to build that mystique back up by even better performances, because you can kind of get away when there's that much a thing built about you. You can get away with a 70% here and there and still win 2-0 because teams will just sit back and almost be too nervous against you. If they smell blood and they go for you, then you have to constantly raise your game to get to that level.
And the thing is, this sort of thing happens every season where City suddenly look beatable and then Pep tinkers something and comes up with a new formation.
They just go on a run.
Yeah. After Christmas every year, City just go on ridiculous winning streaks.
The interesting thing is, right smack in the middle of December, they've got to go out to Saudi Arabia for the Club World Cup. And is that going to, where their squad's already a bit thin, is that, there was that period for ages where teams wouldn't win the Champions League back to back, and that was sort of came into it, and that was, before Real Madrid came and won like 5 in a row.
Then they will be desperate to do well in the Champions League this year, City, and then you've got the knockout stages, so that will become I think their focus to try and do well in that again, even more so than the Premier League, I believe, but certainly more than the FA Cup.
But then it could be that De Bruyne comes back and starts running the show, and that fixes everything for him.
Yeah, that could actually happen.
It probably will as well.
And he's that good that he could just think, I've had a nice wee rest, I'm just going to get absolutely smashed everyone he pits for the next 6 months. And he is actually capable of doing that. All right, moving on then. I think another sort of big talking point would be... I actually can't remember what was the big talking points that we were
the next thing you have is Fulham scores 9.
Oh,
well, actually, they scored 10.
Scored 10.
You wrote it as 9. I'm just,
if you take the last 3 games, it was 14.
Well, yeah, I guess if you look at it. And who did they play this weekend? Oh,
West Ham.
Was. Oh, that's Newcastle, isn't it?
That's all right. That's at home.
This coming weekend.
Right.
Yeah, this coming weekend.
Don't worry about that. Our home form's all right. We've got players coming back this week.
Yeah, we've just lost six goals in the last 2 games.
7.
7.
Sorry, 7. And I just can't count tonight. And they've scored 10. Anyway, but considering they were just like ticking along but not doing nothing, it is quite remarkable that they've just hit this vein of form and just started smashing.
Actually, 17 goals in the last 4 games.
Yeah, something like that.
A bit mad.
I think Raul Jimenez has suddenly remembered how to be a striker again, which has been a big help.
Yeah.
And Anthony Robinson's on a decent run of form at left back as well.
It's crazy how some teams are just hitting veins of form. And you look at Bournemouth as well. I look at their string of results, some form, and yet at the start of the season, remember, we were saying that they were the outside chance to get drawn into the relegation zone because, they weren't looking good at all. So Ariola's done a tremendous job with them.
It's whatever he's been trying to implement is starting to pay off now.
Yeah, it's
I think they had a
click with them.
they had a tough start as well while they were trying to learn this new way of playing, and then sort of they start coming up against a few weaker teams, and it can start to click, and they've just built some really good momentum.
Yeah, they've got some good results, and then they say 6-pointer there with Man U, which is another one where it should have been 4-0, I think. Right, your screens went funny.
I mean, it wasn't the best, and that kind of leads us on. But yeah, it might not be the biggest stories of the week, but we don't claim to be impartial. We're biased, so we're going to talk about our teams. But we don't really want to this week because they're all fucking shit.
Unless we're just going to take the piss out of each other.
I mean,
Can we?
I don't feel good.
Ryan's only half happy
we need
because
to
his team
stop.
beats Chelsea. But
Yeah, like one of the few decent performances that we put in, and Chelsea really let us play. I'm going to say that, but it was one of the, it was a rare instance of every United player on the pitch was doing their job.
I felt like we were playing with you. I thought we were passing the ball to you on purpose.
Me and Dave.
There was a couple of times where it did look like
the conversations we were having, and
so bad.
What Dave was saying through the match, it was like listening to me watching United. It was just like the basics weren't there from Chelsea. But I thought, this everyone was at least putting a shift in. There was still issues with the shape from us, because even though we were attacking pretty much at will,
that good though.
Yeah, whenever Chelsea got past that initial press, they were in, and it's because the midfield is still really unbalanced with us, and that's what happened to us on Saturday. Is that Bournemouth have got a striker called Dominic Solanke. I don't know if Chelsea were ever aware of him, but he could put the ball in the net, which Chelsea don't have. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, he's got 8 goals.
Yeah.
Our terrible striker,
bought by Eddie Howe.
Jackson has got 6.
Remember? He was slated for it at the time. He was just a visionary. He was ahead of the game. Maybe he'll bring Dom in to help us.
But I mean, Chelsea looked like it could be a blueprint, and it looked like the players could do their jobs. And it was, you go into Bournemouth, and Bournemouth are in a good run of form, but it is one of the, a lower team at home is the sort of games that we're winning at the minute. And it was really like, we've got a really tough week coming up, put in a good performance against Bournemouth, and then we've at least got some confidence going in. But Bournemouth score off a really cheap counter 5 minutes in. First half was absolutely dire. I thought we started the second half really well. We had them pinned back without really creating a decent chance, and it just took a couple of outballs from them to score. Then they score again, and just heads went from there, which is the frustrating thing. I do think the reaction to it has been a bit overblown. It's not a massive surprise anymore that a team with a decent defined style of play and a bit of organisation beats us. It's just where we are. But I was listening to it on the radio, and Sutton was just laying it on an inch thick. He just really was taking absolute pleasure in watching United get beat. But it was not any different to any of the other losses that we've had this season, to be honest. And
I mean, it was so shocking defending, wasn't it? And get you getting beat, but that's a point I did want to bring up. But we'll talk about finish talking about United, and then Newcastle and Chelsea, and then I'll bring up the point I was going to about taking the piss. But sorry to disturb on you, go, Mick. What were you saying?
I was just saying it was shocking defending, especially for that first goal.
Yeah, the first goal was really bad. It was trying to play out the back, but it's what I've been talking about all season, in that we're picking out passes and we're not thinking about how the person being passed to is going to receive the ball. So Bruno just sort of floats. Yeah. Bruno floats the ball to McTominay. McTominay's got no idea how to control it because it's coming at him about that high, and he's got a Bournemouth player steaming down the back of him and wins it off him, and then just no one reacts quick enough, and it's that sort of thing
went
that's
hit
missing.
The post not long after, wasn't it? From that sloppy playing, terrible passing at the back again. It could have been worse. I don't think the fourth goal should have been disallowed either.
I never actually looked at it close enough. I saw it, and then I just kind of heard that it had been
it's not handball.
Thingied off, but
If it
It
hits his
doesn't
hand,
matter.
it's
It's kind of
handball.
irrelevant.
That's
It's one of those ones that.
if you're attacking
If it
and
hit
hits
it
your hand, it's
before, if it
handball.
hit
That's a
it
rule.
and he puts it in, that's it. Yeah.
It's
Anyway,
that's
so
shocking.
it's not quite as bad for you because at least you picked up 3 points and moved ahead of us in the table. But one of the teams you beat obviously was Dave's, and then Dave, you also lost to Everton, wasn't it?
Yeah,
which we also get beat off here, but we'll get.
I know they're looking good, but yeah, Chelsea. I went into the United game feeling a bit of hope because we'd been looking good the last 3 or 4 games before that, and I thought we've got some structure.
You were so
about
miserable
us.
in the group chat ahead of the game, Dave. I don't know what you're
I'm
on
always
about.
pessimistic against United because you always get a result.
He's looked good in the 3 or 4 games before that. You just got battered off. That's 4-1.
Well, that's a game. That's why I said 3 or 4. Yeah, I don't want to include you. Yeah, I thought, with a bit of structure, I knew how much United's midfield struggled, but we just couldn't put together passes to, make any use of it. Like what Ryan was saying, when Chelsea did get through, there was some pretty good chances, but yeah, the second half we didn't even pass 3 or 4 times without passing it to United. So, and it wasn't any better against
Everton. You don't
Everton.
work hard enough. Chelsea don't work hard enough.
There's been a lot of talk about Chelsea not being physical enough.
I don't think they are.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
That was we won the physical battle against you too easily, and I wouldn't say Man United are ones for winning the physical battle, and they won the physical battle against you as well. And I think you just need somebody that's going to drive you. You just need.
Players are too young. They're not.
They are young. Yeah,
too young. They haven't got it in them at the minute.
We've had 6 captains this season, and all of them I think are under 23 years old. We don't have a leader apart from Thiago, and he doesn't really want to lead.
Give him a couple of years, he'll mature into a decent player, Thiago.
It's kind of, I know you're joking because Thiago's the oldest one there, but the rest of them are young and people.
He's old enough to be my granddad.
They're all great talent and they're going to be a great team. But right now, you're closer to a relegation fight than you're anything else. I mean, Everton would be 5 points ahead of Chelsea if it wasn't for the 10-point deduction. As it is, you're only like 3 points ahead of them or something like that.
No,
that's crazy.
Are they ahead of us now? No,
they're not ahead of you. When you think
will
of
be
the points,
soon.
No, they probably will.
They'll be ahead of all of us soon, probably. Unless
you go spend big in the January transfer window again, which Pochettino's hinting that he wants to do, by the way. I don't really see this team suddenly playing great football.
No, I don't know.
The season.
I don't think any Chelsea fan wants us to spend any money in the transfer window, or big money anyway. I know the only one that we really wouldn't mind is a decent striker. But if you're going to splash like 120 million on Osimhen, then that's going to...
Anthony Martial's available.
Yeah,
and he's out of contract in the summer, so you can have him dirt cheap as well.
And there was talks of getting a midfielder in. I'm like, we don't need any more midfielders. We're still waiting for our midfielders to come back.
Are there any centre backs left in France that you can have?
What have Monaco got going currently?
There might be a few that haven't took their French citizenship yet that are still in Senegal and all these sort of places that you could get before they become French.
But yeah, it's looking bleak at the moment. We've got Sheffield United at the weekend, and even I'm not holding out much hope.
They're starting to play now under Chris Wilder.
They are starting to get better, and I wouldn't put it past Sheffield United to get a result.
A week ago we were slagging off bringing back Chris Wilder, and they should have got something out of Liverpool, and then they won at the weekend. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Chelsea really are in the thick of it. We're not as bad as that, Mick. We're not as bad as that, but we've had a bad week. We have had a bad week. 2 losses, 7 goals, which, considering we had one of the best goal differences in the league, it was one of the biggest things we had going for us. We had really good goal difference, most of that coming through having a good defence and scoring a lot of goals, but it's just fallen away.
There's only so much you can blame. You can blame injuries, fatigue. There's only so much you can blame on that. Our away form, is dire.
Yeah,
And I
you've
don't
won
know
one
just
what
away
it
don't
game.
seem
is.
to be the
Is that
same
it?
belief.
We've won one away game all
Yeah, we
season.
won it. We won it 8-1.
8-0.
Right
Who
now.
was that against?
It's the
Sheffield
team you're
United.
playing at the weekend, Dave. So
I know. Yeah.
we've set the bar for you. No, but,
That's not
we've
happening.
drew 2. We've lost the rest, and well, away form's just terrible. And yeah,
Although I think there's mitigating circumstances because I think a lot of our away games have come after, like the injuries are after we were tired after Europe and stuff like that. The fixture list hasn't kind of
but
done as
the home games are coming
that,
after injuries, after European games, and
and we
we're
seem to be
doing
able
great
to
at home.
get it
So
up for them. I know.
So it might be just the way we're getting set up away from home.
But still, do you expect to win every game when you have the same 11 players playing? What is it now?
You can't.
5 straight games in a row now. And,
This is 5
and really,
Premier League
before
games.
that, it was almost all of them that played the previous 4 games as well. The only difference is Isaac switching with Wilson. Really, the rest have played. I mean, Anthony Gordon's played 90 minutes. Almost
Fabian
every
Schär's
game.
played every single minute.
Yeah. Is it anything you think that they're not as sharp and as tight and as bursting with energy as they were, when
I don't get what I don't get
a few weeks ago?
Yeah, but what I don't get is we're persisting with this same back 4 that are absolutely knackered, and you've got defenders on the bench. You've got Hall. You've got Dummett, who came in, who was it, against City, and he had an absolute blinder. You've got Emil Kraft on the bench. He's transformed him into...
well at centre-back.
Yeah. You've got 3 defenders there that can come in and do a job. Why isn't he playing them?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm
not going to second-guess him.
Yeah, but if them 4 defenders that are playing now,
maybe
playing so much, are absolutely knackered. I mean, I can't put Livermento in there.
They've done well as a back 4 the last few games. So I can see why he played them against Everton, to be honest.
But Trippier's absolutely paggered. He needs a rest.
Definitely felt a bit.
And why didn't you just?
I think it could be time to put Tino on the right and
play Hall on the left
and damn be it, whatever happens. But that's not going to happen against Milan and this week, though.
No, it's not
going to do it against Milan
because Trippier's suspended for Fulham.
What do you guys think about what we were talking about the other day with Lewis Hall and his sort of terms of his loan deal, and is that playing into it?
I don't know, because I think we're going to buy him in anyways. So
I think Eddie Howe likes him as a player. There's
he's
a
only
kind of
18.
club family connection there. I don't think there's any danger.
But I guess
you're going to buy him.
You brought him in as a left back.
Absolutely rubbish, and Eddie's like, I've made such a terrible decision here. I can't see that. I think Eddie Howe's the type to go, I've not coached him right, or I've not got him doing what I want to do yet, but I'll get him there. I think that's the type he is.
I think as
he
well,
didn't give up Almiron or Joelinton or anything like that. He's not going to give up Lewis Hall after 2 months.
Yeah, you brought him in as a left back, and I guess Livermento's been brilliant all season, so it's probably helping to keep him out.
Livermento, I think, has probably made that the first team position. I would say he's done better than Dan.
Dan Burns going to struggle.
Yeah, I would say
centre back.
Struggle to get in there.
Well, he probably will. He'll be back up.
You would love to.
He'll be back up because Botman's coming back.
Option.
He'll be a backup centre back to Botman.
Yeah, having just some backup centre backs. If we could have Lascelles and just being a backup when we need him again, because he's an old man, and then get Botman as an option there as well. Maybe to give Schär a rest for time to time. That I think that will help us if we get some of these injury back.
It's rumoured that obviously it was nice.
Transfer window, but
it was nice to see Longstaff and Wilson back on the bench. If the rumours are true, we could have Barnes and Botman on the bench on Wednesday, and that just changes the look of our team completely and gives that group a huge boost, having them 4 players back in the squad.
One thing I remember Howe saying before the game at the weekend was about Wilson and Longstaff. He was saying, are they fit? And he was saying, well, let's hope I don't have to use them, was what he said. So he was kind of hoping to maybe be a much tighter game or be ahead and and then not have to use them necessarily. So
Barnes would be a big one for you guys because Gordon's been absolutely immense the last couple of months, but he's probably running out of steam a bit. And having Gordon
even not to have to play 90 minutes, Gordon come on.
Having Gordon be his annoying self for 70 minutes and then bringing Barnes on and having him run at defenders. That's going to be
even playing them both together and giving Almiron a break.
If obviously Barnes does get up to speed, but I mean, I think ultimately looking at us, I just don't see us making the Champions League this year, Mick, because I think we've lost too much. I think our form's too bad. I think we could build up. We could have a much better second half of the season than we've had first half, but I still don't see us going in that good a run to kind of suddenly shoot back into the top four.
I don't think so.
I don't see it.
Europa League, maybe. Europa League.
I think if we can get Europe, that's a good season for us.
I would have took Europa League at the start of the season with like a half decent Champions League and another cup run.
Yeah, and I think you've got a decent chance of getting to League Cup final this year.
I think
I think so too.
And I think that's what
you get through Chelsea in the next round, and then it's just Liverpool left, isn't it?
I tell you what, if we keep getting draws like we have done in the FA Cup third round, we might get the FA Cup final as well.
No. By the time we get to that stage. Anyway, so that's all our teams have had. Absolutely. Let's hope next time we're on, we're all happy since we don't play each other, and everybody else is raging. We'll look on at the kind of predictions, if you like, because that's something that we always do, and look at what the next games are that are coming up, guys. So. Have you had a wee think about the kind of fixtures that are coming up?
I haven't even looked.
Okay, so I'm just going to go through them. I'm going to ask you just a score. You don't need to give me a score. It could be, they'll win, or something like that. It'll be a draw. That's all we need, right? So I'm just going to go through them all. So first one we've got on Friday is Forest at home to Spurs. Dave?
Spurs. Yeah, they'll win.
Who's Spurs will win?
Yeah.
Ryan?
Yeah, Spurs.
Mick?
Oh, that's a hard one. Spurs.
I'm going to go draw.
I was going to say draw. I really was.
I mean, it is Forest at home, but we haven't been consistent lately.
See, when they're inconsistent, that's when they suddenly pull out results you don't expect. Anyway, we won't go into it in too much detail. We'll talk about what happened next week. But Bournemouth at home to Luton. Dave?
Bournemouth. Yeah, good form.
Bournemouth. Ryan?
Yeah, Bournemouth, yeah.
Nick?
Yeah.
Bournemouth as well, yeah. So probably Luton, no surprises all. So Chelsea at home to Sheffield United. Dave?
Sheffield United.
To be honest, I think Sheffield will win.
I don't have any hope anymore. I just fuck football. I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah. We don't want to watch any more football. 0-0, Ryan.
0-0. Yeah.
I think a bad result for Sheffield. You think Chelsea won?
Yeah.
I have a feeling that the pressure will be on and Chelsea will win the game. I wouldn't be surprised if I'm wrong, but I just think they'll win it, and then the Chelsea fans will be like, "Is this the green shoots of recovery?"
What, like we were last week before we played
United are not that good. City are at home to Crystal Palace. Dave?
Yeah, you gotta think City.
Yeah.
Although Palace are normally good against
City.
Stronger teams.
I think Palace. Let's say
they put up a bit of a fight against Liverpool, but it'll be City. Yeah.
Yeah. Newcastle are at home to Fulham.
Newcastle.
Yeah, Newcastle. Ryan. Yeah, I think. Yeah,
Fulham have used up their goals quota for the month.
I think we'll beat Milan on Wednesday. Dortmund will beat PSG, and that'll give us a huge lift, and we'll go and turn Fulham over.
I think
change our season around.
Play really well, no matter what happens. We'll play really well on Tuesday or Wednesday, I think it is actually, and then we'll be absolutely buckled against Fulham, and then we'll get 6 more injuries because Fulham will get a draw. No, I think it could be a draw. I actually think it could be a draw. I think we might be a bit overworked after the midweek game. and they'll be really fresh because they've had a week off, which we've not having, and that's my thoughts. Draw will be a good result for us, I think, just to get past another week. Burnley at home to Everton.
Everton will
Same,
win,
do you think
I
Burnley's winning that?
I think this is going to be like I said in the chat. This is going to be the most shithousing, Daishian, pat the box, park all the buses, just really get it up. Burnley
really
just
play anti-football, which they want to do.
It's his old club.
Scud them.
It's his old club. It's a young hipsterist manager who likes to play out from the back. It's just everything that Dyche really sort of looks like he's been eating a wasp over.
I'm with you, Ryan. That's my fault.
It's going to be absolutely beautiful and also
Sunday,
the worst game of football ever.
Yeah, I think I'll give that one a miss on Saturday night.
Yeah, I don't think I'll watch that.
I think it'll be a draw.
Wait to see. It'll end up being you ain't got to be a draw, Mick.
Draw.
Arsenal are at home to Brighton on Sunday. I would just say I think Arsenal win that one. I don't think Brighton are very good away from home at the moment.
Yeah,
and they've got a big European game, Brighton, whereas Arsenal are pretty much home and hosed in
Brighton are through. Brighton are already through Europe. Yeah, they're already through. They'll rest players. I think it'll be a draw.
Nah, I think 3-0.
I don't think they've been as good away from home as they are at home. I think
Trossard hat trick.
Brentford are at home to Villa. Well, we did say Villa are not as good away from home, but Brentford, they've got a couple of injuries at the moment.
Brentford are absolutely awful at the minute.
Struggling a wee bit.
Yeah, you got to think Villa.
Yeah, I'll go 0-0 on that as well, I think.
0-0.
Because I think Brentford at home they'll just pack the box and they'll just
I think Villa will beat them. I don't think they're in a good vein of form. Normally, I would always, say Brentford could turn anybody over at home, and it could happen. But I just think at the moment that they're in one of those phases where they're going to lose a few, and then they'll get a few players back, and then they'll be back beating people unusually again.
I suppose Villa have a game this week, doesn't he?
What?
Tony should be back soon, shouldn't he?
Yeah.
We're through.
West Ham are at home to Wolves. Dave?
I think that's a draw, I think Wolves have been playing all right.
Yeah, I'll go Wolves because West Ham are playing Thursday as well. So
I'm going to go draw.
Mick? I'm going to go draw as well. I could see it being a low scorer. And then, I'm not sure it is that big a one, but the last one certainly on Sunday is Liverpool at home to yourselves, Man United.
Night,
usually
lads.
one
Cheers.
of the biggest games. I mean, it usually is one of the biggest games in football, and it certainly is for the fans, no matter what. But I don't think it's got the same importance it's had for a while. But does anybody think that Man United have got a chance to go to Anfield and beat Liverpool?
We don't do well there at the best of times. Even last year when we were playing brilliantly, we went there and got battered 7-0, and that sort of started the tumble down
last year. Yeah,
I don't think Liverpool are playing particularly well at the minute. They're sort of relying on moments of brilliance to get them through games. But the way that we're playing at the minute, especially if we don't get a good result against Bayern, we're playing in the way that's going to let them in and going to let their attack click, and it just. Yeah, I don't see anything other than a comfortable Liverpool win, to be honest.
Are you not thinking that McTominay is moments of brilliance either, though?
Well, yeah, but we well established that United are not good this season. I think I don't know. Weird as it sounds, I think Bruno being missing for that game could go in our favour because it's going to make Ten Hag really rethink the shape of the midfield. He might leave McTominay in the Bruno position and maybe pack the midfield a bit more to make it a bit more stable. And equally, if it starts going badly against Liverpool, Bruno is normally the first one to chuck his toys out the pram. And just removing that might help us not get embarrassed, but I still don't think we're actually going to get anything out of the game.
I would say that I would be more surprised at a draw or a Man United narrow win than I would a 7-0 or something to Liverpool. That would surprise me more if Man United get a result out of this.
it's a big week, and it's got the potential to be a really ugly week for us, to be honest.
We'll find out next week, guys. Anybody get any last thoughts before we wrap up?
No.
Okay, then.
Watch less
thanks
football.
very much.
Yeah.
Don't watch our team this week, but hopefully that will change next week. But thank you for watching. Watch more football, and even if we get absolutely smashed this weekend again, we will be back to moan on Monday for you and celebrate the teams that did win. No, we won't. We don't care about them at all. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. It's bye from all of us. Cheers. Bye.